Right now, as you listen to this, there is a number so vast it almost stops feeling like money. $45.1 trillion. That is the total value of the American retirement system. Every 401k, every IRA, every pension, every thrift savings plan, quietly ticking away inside the bloodstream of the US economy. It now represents more than 37% of every financial asset American households own. And yet, despite living inside this ocean of wealth, most people have absolutely no idea where they actually stand inside it. Are you ahead? Are you behind? Is your balance normal, tragic, or quietly exceptional? Tonight, we follow the real journey. The ages Americans hit $100,000, $500,000, and finally, $1 million. And the uncomfortable truth about how many actually make it to the summit.
The first $100,000 is the psychological mountain. Every financial planner in America says the same thing. It is the hardest money you will ever save. Because for that entire climb, you are alone. You are the engine. Every dollar in the account was pried out of your own paycheck, one match deduction at a time. The market gives you scraps, a few hundred here, a bad year there. But look at what the actual data tells us. According to Vanguard's How America Saves report for 2024, the average American under 35 has just $42,000 in their workplace retirement plan. By the time they enter their late 30s and early 40s, that balance finally climbs to an average of $103,500. Which means the typical American crosses the $100,000 line somewhere between 39 and 42 years old. Roughly 2 decades of contributions. And here is what changes forever on the other side of that line. At $100,000, invested properly, compounding itself begins to earn more than you do. A 7% market year adds $7,000 to your balance without you lifting a finger. The engine starts driving itself. This is the exact moment retirement stops being about willpower and starts being about time. Now the mood of this story shifts, because most Americans never reach $500,000 before they stop working. The Federal Reserve's Survey of Consumer Finances tells us that households headed by someone aged 55 to 64 carry an average retirement balance of $537,560. That sounds reassuring until you look at the median. The median retirement balance for that same pre-retirement age group is just $185,000, meaning half of all Americans within 10 years of retirement have less than $200,000 saved. For those already retired, aged 65 to 74, the median inches up to $200,000. Fidelity's own data on its 50-plus 401k savers confirms it. The median 401k balance is just $64,300. $500,000, in other words, is not the floor of American retirement. It is the ceiling most Americans will never touch. And almost 20% of adults over 50 report having no retirement savings at all. Underneath every one of these national averages, there is a second story hiding in plain sight: the gender gap in American retirement. Research from T. Rowe Price reveals that the median 401k balance for working men in the United States is $73,500. For women, $38,100. Women are carrying roughly half the retirement balance of men across every single generation. Baby boomer men hold a median of $138,000. Boomer women, $59,000. Millennial men, $42,300. Millennial women, just $12,300. The structural causes are mathematical, and they are unforgiving. American women still earn roughly 85 cents for every dollar a man earns. They take more career breaks, for children, for aging parents. They cluster disproportionately into part-time roles that often do not offer a 401k match at all. They have shorter job tenures and leave plans before they are fully vested. And because they live an average of 5 years longer than men, that smaller retirement pot has to stretch even further. It is a headwind that compounds across an entire lifetime. Which brings us to the seven-figure summit, $1 million in retirement savings. According to the Employee Benefit Research Institute, analyzing Federal Reserve data, only 4.7% of American households have $1 million in retirement accounts. 4.7%. That is it. At Fidelity, the largest 401k provider in the country, there are 537,000 account holders sitting at the $1 million mark, out of 24.5 million participants. That is roughly 2.2%. So who are they? Fidelity's profile of the average 401k millionaire is remarkably consistent. They are 59 years old. They have been contributing to the same employer plan for an average of 26 years. They save more than 17% of their pre-tax income, often maxing out the $23,500 annual contribution limit, plus catch-up contributions after age 50. 57% of them are Gen X. 41% are boomers. Barely 2% are millennials. They do not time the market. They do not chase hot stocks. They simply did not stop. Through the dot-com crash, through 2008, through 2020, 26 years of not flinching. That, statistically, is what the American 1% Club actually looks like. But is $1 million actually enough? Enter the 4% rule. Originally developed by financial advisor William Bengen, it states that a retiree can safely withdraw 4% of their portfolio in year one, adjust for inflation each year after that, and have a high probability of the money lasting a full 30 years. Running the math on that rule is brutal. $1 million produces $40,000 a year. $500,000 produces just $20,000 a year. The average Social Security retirement benefit pays roughly $23,000 annually per worker. Stack those together, Social Security plus a 4% withdrawal on $1 million portfolio, and you land at about $63,000 a year in total retirement income. Which is why Northwestern Mutual's most recent Planning and Progress study found that Americans now believe they need $1,460,000 to retire comfortably. And that is the gap between what most Americans have and what they say they need, a chasm of nearly $1.3 million sitting right in the middle of the room. Here is the twist almost nobody sees coming. The second million arrives far faster than the first. $1 million invested at 7% earns $70,000 in a single year, roughly what a median American household earns from a full-time job, which is exactly why Fidelity data shows average balances rising more than 75% between a saver's 40s and 50s. The mountain flattens. The engine accelerates. And this is the real lesson, no matter where you are starting tonight. If you are 25,
your first $1,000 is worth more than a millionaire's last $1,000 because of time. If you are 45 and behind, the catch-up contributions built into the 401k and IRA system were designed specifically for you. If you are 60 and nowhere close to that $1.46 million benchmark, delaying Social Security from 62 to 70 raises your monthly benefit by roughly 77%, permanently. The $45.1 trillion inside the American retirement system is not distributed fairly. It never was. But the rules for closing the gap are astonishingly simple, and they have not changed in 40 years. Start earlier than feels comfortable. Contribute more than feels reasonable. Capture every employer match. And most of all, do not stop. That is the entire blueprint. The 1% did not outsmart the market. They simply outlasted everybody who quit. If you learned something, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next video.